Oh, shit. The answer to life and all of that other shit. Number 42, people. Tonight's a big one because of the number more than anything else. The guest, he's all right. No, I'm kidding. I have my good buddy on tonight, Kyrun Silva. I'm super excited. Let's make this thing so that everyone can see it. Or I'm going to boop, do what I can. While you guys are out there, if you're out there, I can't tell. Say hi. Um, you know, all that kind of goodness. Share, actually, there was a lot of sharing already. I think everyone's really excited about this one. So thank you. I'm glad you guys are. Cool. So it's now done. So why don't you guys talk on here, comment, just so I can see you're here. Yeah, there we go. Right. We've got Trish Bankston in the house. Beautiful. Hello. I know I have some messages from you guys, so that's fantastic. I will get to that after this. Brian Manel, yo, what's up? Katrina Rhodes. There we go. It's going to be a lovely evening. I hope that you have an excellent time in Canada. You know what? Speaking in Canada, hey, Don Edwards, what's going on, man? As we're, kind of ramping up and getting ready to introduce our amazing guest, I'll tell you a fun little thing that I got to do. While we were in Dallas, we were talking about Joe DeSantos. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you, man. We were getting everything ready, and it was I believe it was the Saturday night. So it was Saturday at Dallas Fan Expo, and we were kind of trying to figure out what we were going to do and whatnot. And actually, it was Friday night. We had looked for something to do, and it just didn't work out. But someone pointed me to a Canadian diner, the Maple Leaf Diner. And I was like, oh, shit, I got to do that. Like, we got to eat Canadian. How can you not, right? So we all went out. We had Canadian food, and it was resplendent. Whoa. Oh. It was, hello, Donna. Very nice to meet you. I hope everything is going well with you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was fantastic. We had just an absolutely wonderful time. I got to have poutine. Thank you very much, Katrina. And I got to have all sorts of amazing stuff. And I got to have a special. What did you order? Great. So I ordered. I was gonna order the poutine, but Wendy and Ren had already ordered that, so that was fantastic. So instead, I got me some. I got poutine as a side, and then I got myself some cabbage rolls. I love good old Canadian cabbage rolls. They were absolutely excellent. And then for dessert, I shouldn't be eating dessert because I'm on my diet and everything, but I got it anyways. And I got, if you've never had a Nanaimo bar, you have to have poutine, dude. It's something you have to do. But if you've never had a Nanaimo bar, especially Katrina going north, ask for a Nanaimo bar. It's like this chocolate thingy with all sorts of custard, and oh my lord, it's amazing. And what's neat about it is the bar is just like that big. Like, it's really not that big. But when I bought it, and then of course, what happened? On the way home, my wife says, "Oh yeah, I have to have some of that too. So we're gonna have to split that." And I'm thinking, "No, motherfucker! Like, why don't you get your own?" But I cut it in half anyways because I'm an excellent husband, or try to pretend to be. Poutine works best at 20 below. Okay, I'm down for that. I'll have to PM you the spelling. I'll ask Rob to substitute it for my birthday cake. Well, no, I mean, it's just a bar, right? But I would still ask Rob just ask him. Can I have while we're there, I want to have a Nanaimo bar. And it's just packs so much flavor that, one bar is usually good enough. And then butter tart, which again is a Canadian thing. It's wonderful. I had a blast with it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, it's more like a breakfast. I don't know. It's hard to explain what a butter tart is, but it's really good. It's just one of those things where you just do it. Weston Dugan Star, what's going on, man? Take care of it. Good to see you, man. All right, you know what? I think we got a good number of people. Get your questions ready. We're gonna have my boy Kyrun Silva coming in just a second. So why don't we just make this happen and have a good old time? You know what time it is.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck because I care.
Oh shit! I'm like, what the fuck is he doing over there? Oh okay. Damn!
All right, wait. Before we get into this, what was that you ate? Did you say poutine?
Well, not as much.
You didn't give it to your wife?
I had to split it with her. That was the difficult part.
You had to split poutine with your wife?
I had to split the poutine with my wife.
Wow, that sounds like a good weekend right there, buddy.
It's a hell of a marriage I've got going on. See, Weston likes the butter tarts. Good. I'm glad you like them.
Isn't butter tarts like some type of Nicki Minaj song?
No,
I think it is.
Actually. Is it?
I think so.
Oh, Brian Manel, Kyrun!
What's going on, sir? I love the use of all that use on that.
I know, right? It sounds like you just got like a wrestling opening or something. Kyrun!
That wasn't even my wrestling name. That's funny.
What was your wrestling name?
El Blanco? No, wait. I was El Negro Loco.
Okay, I was like El Blanco. Like what?
We were part of what's called a Lucha Libre Mafia, and we were led by El Flaco Loco, which is the crazy skinny guy. And then I was his half brother, El Negro Loco. And then we also had El Blanco Loco. No, I got one match doing that, and I was like, "This is fun, but I don't like getting hurt." So I didn't do it after that.
That's not. Yeah. I would bet that part didn't hurt. Was not fun.
No, not at all. And then the song I was thinking about was actually called Truffle Butter. So I apologize for in Butter Tart. Who was that?
Still.
Yeah.
Trish Bankson says, "Did you not see the pic with Chris Madd in a hotel bed?" That's where the story is at. That was.
Oh.
Yeah. So there actually was. So one of my a good buddy of mine and client, Braden Cox, messaged me and he goes, "I need a picture of you and Chris for my for my phone." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "No, seriously, you guys. I love you guys. You guys are both working on my book." So we're like right there, like watching TV in the living room, and I'm like, "Cool, let's take a picture." So we kind of like spooned and got all sexy and took this funny, joking picture. And he looked, I looked joking fat guy sexy, and he looked actually kind of suave, and so it just looked really weird as a picture.
Now, is this over at what was that? What was the last exposition you went to?
Dallas?
Yeah, was that or Fan Expo? Okay, I miss all the fun, dude.
Oh, dude, it was great. It was an excellent show. I had a really good time.
And you're coming out to Rose City Con this year?
Nope.
No? Who's it that I'm thinking of then?
I don't know. It's not me though.
I thought I saw you were coming on the West Coast this year.
I am coming to the West Coast. I'm going to Emerald City.
Ah, Emerald City. Okay. Emerald City, Rose City. It's all in the northwestern area.
I thought Rose City was like Baltimore or something.
No, Rose City is Portland. And Emerald, I'm assuming, is Seattle, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I was thinking about coming up there, but yeah, I'm still scared of going anywhere right now.
Dude, I actually get it. I actually get it. Okay, so I'm gonna throw something at you as far as like something that I noticed about myself at shows. When I get there, I have the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and especially on sales and on good opportunities at my table. And I think a lot of that stems from, first off, just natural anxiety.
Sure.
But also at my very second show, my boss at the restaurant that I was working at, she needed me to come home or come back and work that night. So I ended up having to leave the show like 2 hours early. So I did. You know what happened? Yeah. It is an uh-oh. Jason Momoa walks down the aisles and goes to every single fucking booth.
Oh,
and
snap.
Talks to them about their stuff and gets something from everyone there.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh fuck, like I missed out on Jason fucking Momoa because of this stupid fucking cooking job. And so now, like, when you see me leave my table, I usually waddle my ass, like I'm trying to hurry. I'm very focused. Bathroom, I usually don't even go for food. I stock up. All my food is in my
Right
box
there.
and what in my bin. So I'm not even leaving for food or anything. So yeah, I mean, and even water. I'll have bottles of water in the bin, like everything. I'll have warm water all day. I don't give a shit. Now I will run off to say hi to someone because you do have to kind of walk now and then, kind of stretch your legs and stuff. But it's all very short.
Yeah.
And so I get so focused on that. I don't take the pictures. I don't. Like we were supposed to take so many pictures and see so many people, and we did see most of them, but I just did not get any of the pictures and stuff that I would have loved. What about you at a show? Are you similar? Are you way different?
Oh, I'm totally the same way, and I had that fear and anxiety of missing out on a sale because it's hard enough to just break even. So trying to justify going and hanging out and seeing other people is really hard to do. And a lot of shows I'm doing on my own. Like I don't have a sidekick to come with me to watch the table. So if I'm at a table, I'm like there 24/7. I've gone to a show where I did not leave my table the entire show, no bathroom break. I ate there at the table, and that's life for me when I'm at a con, honestly.
Is that where the Taurus brand catheter came from?
Yes.
That's where that came from?
And bedpan, if you got the combo pack.
You know what? It's so funny because I made a catheter joke when we were with Wendy beside me, and then immediately she was like, "Wouldn't it be better with a bedpan?" And I was like, "It would be." So it's funny that both times that came up, someone else was like, "Bedpan is probably a better idea." And
Well,
you're
see,
like, yeah.
it used to be Taurus Comics diapers, but then I kept getting rashes. So I was like, unless I come up with Taurus Comics diaper cream, I got to come up with a better solution than this. So
Taurus Comics baby powder.
Baby powder, there you go.
Like talcum powder.
Made from real babies.
But you shouldn't have to have all those different things. I think just having the bedpan or just having the catheter. So yeah, it's just
I think I've had maybe 2 or 3 times since I've done Taurus Comics where I've had somebody with me. And even when I had them with me watching the table, I had so much anxiety just walking around. I was like, yeah, I'm having fun. I'm seeing all these things. Like, but am I missing sales? Am I missing an opportunity? And so my fear just would not leave my side.
And I think that is, like, for me, it's exacerbated by the times when cool things did happen at my table.
Yeah.
Like this weekend on, so this was Wendy's birthday weekend.
Happy birthday, Wendy.
Thank you. I'm sure she'll appreciate that. Her birthday, same day as Katrina's. It's on, I believe it's Thursday. It's on the 23rd.
Happy birthday, Katrina.
Yeah.
Who will be on my podcast in October, by the way.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, yeah.
So I'm there's this right across from me is Rags Morales, who I got to chill with and talk to, and he was fantastic. And right beside him were some curtains, and the guests would come out of because the guests would go into the curtains to go to the back to the stages that were back there. And so they kept coming back from there, and they look at everyone showing up. Joshua May, nice to see you, buddy.
What's going on, Joshua?
And so at one point, Matt Hawkins on Sunday comes out, and just kind of because he's trying to get through the crowd, ends up in front of my table.
Nice.
So I stand up and I'm like, Matt Hawkins, good to see you. And so we start talking. We're going back and forth. He's checking out Belial. He grabs my card, like all sorts of cool stuff, which again, it doesn't necessarily mean that, like, I don't see him calling me or messaging me or anything, but it's all there and that's neat. But he's doing that. And at one point I said, I got to tell you, my wife is a huge Top Cow fan, which she is. In fact, her birthday is this weekend, and we did a Witchblade theme for her this year. So I got her for her birthday. She got Witchblade #1.
Now, did she get the costume? Is the question.
Oh my Lord, I wish.
Oh, hey now,
right?
You're like, whose birthday is it really?
Maybe I should get the Witchblade costume for her, or Darkness or something. So she got Witchblade #1 signed by Detron, David Wohl, and Michael Turner.
Wow.
So
I'm
I
assuming
got
this
that.
was he signed it before he passed.
Wait, who passed?
Michael
I'm
Turner.
fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
I was
Yes.
like, wait, you didn't know this?
Right? Yeah, absolutely before he passed.
He's like, no,
What
I
do
had
you
to sign
mean
with
he's
Michael
not
Turner.
alive?
You mean Michael Turner is a 6'4" black guy? What?
I thought Fathom was just canceled. He.
Fathom.
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
So he, so we got all that, and I told him, like, thank you so much. And I said, we love what you do, and I got her all, she had a Witchblade birthday this year, and he was like, great, cool, I'll be right back. Yeah, maybe his ghost signed it. Yeah, exactly, Don. So he goes, just a second, and he runs away. He runs off to his table, comes back, and he has a Witchblade #1 25th anniversary convention issue,
Wow.
and he's got a Witchblade enamel pin of the gauntlet.
Oh, nice.
And he said, "Give that to your wife from us. Happy birthday." And I was like, "Holy shit, dude! Like, that was so cool of him." And so
did Wendy ever actually get those things, or did you just hoard it for yourself?
Well, now I have to give them to her because I said it here, and she watches the show.
She's all like, "I never got that."
I gave them to her, and then I was like, "Seriously, you have to go and thank that man." She was like, "Oh, I was going to." I was like, "Yeah, you really do." And she went and she got him to sign it because he is the president, and technically he is credited in there, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
But no, it was very good. We had a good time. But that's another reason why I get the FOMO, because cool things like that don't happen when you're not at your fucking table.
So you've done a lot of events over the years. Who is the coolest person, or biggest name, I should say, that you have sat around at an event?
As in, like, their booth was nearby me or whatever?
Yeah.
I guess it would be, because I mean, usually I'm kind of in that portion of Artist Alley where you've got the fucking like sticker booth beside you and all that, like a lot of it is crafts and stuff. And I've only been doing this since late 2000. Like, my first show was October of 2018. So that's when things
we're not counting 2020. So
I mean, you can count it, but fucking nothing happened for me. So it's not that long. But I guess my first show, I was seated next to Bill Williams and Matt Weldon of Punchline fame.
Okay.
And they were really cool, very helpful, so good, especially Bill. And Bill, one of the best things that he said to me, because I told him, I said, dude, you worked with DC, because he did DC's Batman 66 comic for a short while.
Yeah.
And that was just, I was like, dude, that's so cool. Like, why aren't you doing, you're doing this thing with Antarctic Press, but, what are you going to do with the big two? And he was like, I don't know that I ever will be able to again. And I said, why not? Did something bad happen? And he's like, well, no. He said, the thing that you have to understand is, just because you've done work for the big two doesn't mean you're going to do it again. That's not your foot in the door.
Yeah. Your
foot in the door is that editor that got you in there. And that editor that got me in there does not work there anymore. So I've tried, and it's not really happening. And I'm like, oh shit. And that was a really interesting thing to learn, and to go, oh, okay, cool. Good to know.
You're like, once I'm in there, I don't get to just stay here?
I mean, what my thought was at least once you get in there, someone would be like, oh yeah, you've worked with us before. Okay, cool. But it's really about, it's a nepotism thing. It's who you know, and that matters, which is,
The coolest person I've ever sat near at an event would be Will Sportatio. I sat across the way, and it was really weird because I was just setting up my table, and I looked up, and he was standing there with his kids, and they were setting up his table for him. And I geeked out, and I stalkerishly put on my phone, took a picture, and then posted it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm right across the hall from Will Sportatio. And I posted it, not thinking about it. Later on during the day, I checked, and I had a mention from him. And Will Sportatio, while I didn't notice, took a picture of me and said, "Oh my God, I'm across away from Kyrun Silva." I was like,
That's so great. And that at that point, you got to go over and say hi and talk.
Oh, yeah, I did. I was like, yeah, thanks for mentioning me. It was really cool. But what was even cool, though, was later on that same event, this guy came by dressed up as Bishop, and he was looking through my stuff. And I was like, hey, cool Bishop cosplay. Are you going to talk to Wills? And he's like, who's Wills? I was like, Will Portatio, the guy who created your character you're cosplaying. He's like, oh, who is he? And I was like, oh, the guy right behind you.
Yeah.
That guy. And he, at that point, he walked away and forgot about me, but that's okay.
So actually, okay, so that does change my answer, because right across from me this show was Rags Morales.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Who is super awesome. And actually, I had met him in a show in 2019, and I related this story to him. We're not even into the shop talk part yet, but I related this story to him, where I had been walking around. I was going to go get me a drink, and I saw him walking around. And it was before the show started. I just literally wanted to walk up and say, hi, I love what you do. Thank you so much for, kind of your inspiration and whatnot. Leave it at that. Just give him a nice, quick thank you and go away. And so I did that, and he was like, wait, are you presenting here? Do you have a table? And I said, yeah, I do. And he goes, cool, let's go. I was like, what? He's like, let's go look at your table. So then I have a table mate, Doug Brown, who, he and I almost always share tables. And so Doug Brown is setting up his table, and all of a sudden there I waddle up with fucking Will with Rags Morales. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, hey man, this is Rags Morales. And he's going to come hang out with us for a minute. So he went through our books. He checked out our stuff. At one point, he's like, hey, there's 8 panels. Like, he's going through Welcome to the Void. And he goes, there's 8 panels on this page. And I was like, I did not write that. Those 8 panels. Somebody else, the artist added the 8th. And he's like, I hope so. Because if you're writing 8 panels, I was like, no, sir, I promise. He's like, yeah, don't. I don't want to hear about you doing that. I'm like, yes, sir. Thank you. And so it was so funny. And then he wanted to teach my Doug, who's an artist, he was teaching him some tricks to perspective.
Oh, nice.
So he grabbed, he was like, do you guys have any pen and paper? And I just passed him my notepad, because I always have a notepad there. And he started drawing in there. And it's just like simple stick figures and stuff. But I had to write on top, Rags Morales fucking drew this. That's literally what it says.
It's crazy how artists, these big name artists, will do that. Like, I went to an event where Jim Lee was there, and I wanted him to sign some books, and the guy ahead of me brought his portfolio for Jim to just look at. And Jim wasn't doing portfolio reviews, but this guy was like, well, can you just look at this one page? And Jim was like, all right, fine. I'll look at it really quick, because there was like a huge line, and he didn't want to keep the line. He wanted to keep the line moving, I should say. So Jim looks at the page, and he's like, you know what, hold on. And he just takes a Sharpie and just starts drawing all over this guy's page about what he could fix. They had no care. He was like, yep, I'm Jim fucking Lee, and we're drawing it like this, and this is what you should do. And I was like, oh crap. Like, at that point, as an artist, am I supposed to be mad that you drew on my work, or am I happy that I now have a Jim Lee sketch?
Right.
What?
Is that a jam piece? I don't know.
It's at a jam piece. But can I now say I've worked with Jim Lee? I mean, what is it?
Technically, did he just ink my work? Like, that's what that feels like?
He inked and edited it. So is
this
now valuable? What?
He's your art director. Don Edwards says, I think Kyrun really wants us to see that banner.
I do, Don, but more than anything, I just don't want you to see the clutter that's behind me. So, and I do have to mention, Kat asked where my bamboo is. My bamboo at this point, Kat, I don't know if you guys remember, I had like a little tiny bamboo last year. It's now grown to about 4 feet tall. So it's out in the corner, and I can't bring it next to me anymore. It's just too big. So.
What are some of the coolest things that happened to you when you were at your table? I think we already
Yeah. Well, actually, another thing that did happen while I was at my table was another big person I got to sit next to at an event was Jim Steranko. And I sat next to him for a whole weekend where he was literally right next to me. I never got to talk to him because his line was so busy until the very last day when everybody's packing up. And I was like, hey, Jim, just want to say thank you for everything you've done for our comic industry. You've been a mentor for me. And then all of a sudden, Eric Larson just walks up. He's like, Jim! And they hug and embrace. And I'm like, okay, I will leave now. And Eric Larson's a tall guy. I don't know if you've
heard that. Yeah, I've seen, yeah.
And I am not a tall guy at all. So I was very
intimidated.
I was going to say something worse, but sure, we'll go with intimidated.
You know what, though? I'm finding more and more it's cool to see these people, but I think it's really important for us to see these people as our peers.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's an elevation there. So I got Ebas was at this show that I was just at, Eric Basaljua. And last year in 2020, I got to edit a book that he did a cover for.
Oh, nice.
So I walked up to his table and I told him, hey, man, last year I said, do you remember doing the cover for Monty Michael Moore's Loco Hero? And he's like, yeah, I love that cover, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I was the editor of that book and I've only been in the industry for like 5 years. And it means the world to me that I got to share a credit on a book with you. Like that just means the world to me. And it was a huge honor. So I wanted to thank you for that and tell you that meant the world to me. And he was like, oh, no, I'm honored that you're honored. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And I was like, yeah, back down there, buddy. Like, whatever. He was like, I'm honored that we shared it too. And I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, thanks, but.
I actually find he probably is honest on it. I'm finding more and more artists are just, I mean, outside of just the big dickheads, but more and more people are just very happy to A, have work, because it really is hard nowadays to get work, but B, just have people appreciate their work. And they get the online stuff where they get raves all the time, but to have somebody actually physically walk up and say, hey, I thank you, that means a lot to a lot of these people.
Yeah. Well, and it was important to me to approach him as both a fan and a peer. Yeah. To be able to say, hey, we work together, but I fucking love what you do, man. Yeah. And I think that's something that we need to remember. So like next time you sit next to a Steranko, an Eric Larson, whoever, that you remember, hey, we are in the same industry. Yeah, of course, they're titans in it, but we're still in the industry, and you still get to kind of hold your head up high and be like, hey, I'm working alongside these guys.
Sure, if you want to say it like that, yeah.
I mean, that's how I look at it, anyways.
I look at it as like a AAA baseball thing. Like, yeah, you're a professional baseball, but you're mid-level baseball, whereas Jim Steranko is Hall of Fame. So I could get there someday, who knows? But I still got to work my way up to that level at least.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we're definitely not on the same level, but I mean, still, I want to be able to walk up and talk with them, and sure. Being able to chat with Rags and whatnot was really cool, and yeah, whoever else, Matt, Ebas, these names now that you can bandy about. Yeah. How do you not talk to Jim Steranko?
Like I said, his table was always busy. He always had a long line. So it was sort of uncomfortable to be like, hey, Jim, can you stop talking to those 50 people that are waiting in line and talk to me?
Well, I get that. Yeah. That's rude as fuck.
And even before, he still had people, like even before the show opened up, he still had people coming up to him that were like hosting the show and friends. I'm like, I don't know this guy. I'm not going to interrupt him and just be rude about it. So I just had to wait.
Yeah, absolutely. So Katrina helped at a table across from Ebas, and he borrowed some water from her. Did you guys drink out of the same bottle?
He borrowed my water bottle. Not he borrowed some water. So did he keep her water bottle?
Yeah. Did you guys share spots a bit? Yeah. Don Edwards says, does this mean Rob Liefeld is my peer? Yeah, it totally does.
Sure. Go tell him that, please.
Yeah, right. You're my peer, motherfucker.
Yeah. Especially on Twitter. Go tell him that.
Yeah. Steph Wilson, Chuck. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Hey, Steph, I did mention your name to several people. I went for you. I said hi to Bill McKay, and I told him that you said hi. So there you go. What was this? Joe he says he met Eric and Nei years ago. Great peeps. Oh, Nei seems so cool.
Yes.
I got
Amazing
to
work.
be. Yeah. Oh, she does. Yeah, and I got to be in a panel with her. Online. Delightful woman.
Jeez, you're on like everything, aren't you?
Online, a lot of it. Yeah. Ebas is so kind. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. He gave it back, but yes, we used the same water bottle. That's hot.
Hey.
Nei is so sweet. Yeah, she is sweet. And I feel kind of bad for Nei because she has this show on the I think Artist Alley Network, and she has this wonderful show that I love to check out. But the show that comes before her is just such a fucking dumpster fire of a shit show. So I feel bad that she has to open to that.
Huh. Okay.
It's Steph Wilson's show. I'm being an asshole.
Oh, okay. I figured that was it.
Yeah. Bill McKay is nice. And I try to be everywhere. I think it's important for us to get out. Like, I mean, for me, I feel like it's important to get out everywhere I possibly can and be seen as often as I can. Because editing,
Yeah.
no one sees
No, I
what
get
I
you.
do.
I mean, that's why I started my podcast. So I figure I have to get myself out there some other way outside of just shit posting on Facebook.
Yeah. Don Edwards actually had his portfolio critiqued by Ralph Macchio and Mark Bagley. I think that's really cool, dude. Was that before Cobra Kai?
Wow. Hey, season 4 of Cobra Kai is coming out, and that's exciting for me.
People are talking to me about Cobra Kai, and I still haven't jumped on the train for that one.
Well, you're not. Okay.
No, I'm not. What? Go ahead. I want to hear.
You don't have time to do anything, anyways, outside of doing everything else. So.
I actually do. I can make. I do. I watch shows. You know what's funny? I watch a lot of shows, but I don't talk about them. And I don't talk about them because everybody always has a fucking opinion. They always, oh, I like this. Oh, it's a piece of shit. And I'm like, I don't want to have to fucking, tell you. So there's tons of things that I just think are amazing, but I don't want to have to feel like I have to defend them.
Okay. Well, what is one show that you love right now? And anybody in chat, do not say it's shit or anything.
I'm really enjoying Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, that's a piece of shit show.
I thought that was coming, but yeah.
No, I have not seen it. I've heard good things. That's with Martin Short and
Selena Gomez and Steve Martin.
Yes. I have not seen it.
I'm really enjoying it an awful lot. Also, Why the Last Man? Just started watching that. It's too soon in for me to make a call about it, but I'm just I love Brian K. Vaughan and I loved Why, so I'm really excited about that.
I love Brian K. Vaughan, and I really hope he would bring back Saga. It's been 3 years, and I'm waiting on the second arc.
I have the omnibus. Yeah,
I do too,
and I haven't finished it yet.
I have the omnibus, and I have each individual. I have each individual one.
Issue? Really?
Yes. I don't know. I loved it that much. I was like, I gotta get the omnibus for anything extra that they might throw in there. And I was like, oh, this was worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, was it like 58 issues or something?
Yeah. And
is that all of it right now?
Yeah, that's all of it right now. And that was 3 years ago. And they said, we're gonna take a break. We're taking a hiatus, and then we'll come back.
But that ends on a really fucking brutal.
Yes, it does.
Oh, that's rude. That's pretty rude, man.
Now do you see why I'm like, it's 3 years?
Yeah, that's kind of rude the way that's ended. That's
And that's rough. That they don't have time. I mean,
what has he even been doing?
Making Why Last Man.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. How do I get on Kyrun's podcast?
Right now we are booked up for the rest of the year.
Good for
you. Thank you. We're going to take a short break in December, and then we'll come back, and we'll come back in the beginning of January with a huge guest, hopefully. And I truly mean a global guest when I say this. I got an online, yes, I'll be on the show, but I haven't gotten correct all the information yet. But Don, if you want to, you can talk to me, and we'll try to see if we can fit you in for season 2.
Cool. That's badass, man. Oh, it's an award-winning show. Yeah.
Are we talking about Why Last Man, or
No, he's talking about his show, which is,
Yeah, I know.
yes, it's award-winning, still a dumpster fire.
Those are always the best shows, the dumpster fires.
Right? And you know what? Actually, one show that ended in the last year or two, and I've gone back and watched several times, is The Good Place. I believe that start to finish, all the way through, is pretty much a perfect show. They told exactly the story they wanted to tell. Do you not know that show, or really?
I've never seen an episode. I've heard of it. But
It's on Netflix, and especially if you are, I guess like a person of any kind of who loves philosophy or spiritualism or anything like that. It's a comedy, but it's just a brilliant story and really a lot of fun and very interesting. I just had a blast with it. And even when it gets silly and funny, it still has this heart and it's still really intelligent. I just had a blast with it.
All right. I'll add it to my growing queue of Netflix shows.
There you go.
I just got through The Office for the first time this year, so I'm catching up on things.
How'd you like that?
It was all right. It was not as great as a lot of people around me have said it is, but it was enjoyable.
I think when it was good, like its best shows were amazing and they were way up there. And then when it wasn't so good, it really could be tough to watch.
Yeah. I'm now watching Blackish. Just getting caught up between that and animes, a slew of animes that my family and I are watching.
So Brian says, I talk about shows here and there, but I'm afraid of going overboard with shows I enjoy. I have a habit among friend groups to over talk about certain shows I enjoy a lot, so I feel you there.
Yeah, I think we all feel that same way sometimes. We don't want to overexpose information and talk about things too much. So I feel like we're bothering people.
Right? Brian Medell is on the Saga train as well.
Yes. And the funny thing is, when
Chuck would be a huge guest. True story. I would be a huge guest.
Wow.
Oh, just because I'm a huge guy. I think that was a fact.
You were on my show, so you were a huge guest when you were on my show.
I like to think so.
That was one of our highest listened to episodes.
Really?
At the time, yes. It was only like episode 3.
I was like, yeah, we're really the 3rd episode. That's good. I like that. Brian Manell loved The Good Place too. Yay, Brian! We can talk about that all you want. See, even holy shit, there's a lot going. Steph Wilson said Good Place was tight. Love The Good Place.
So I guess I'm the only person that doesn't watch it. So,
yeah, that one got some mad love. What up, James Sims? Good to see you.
What's going on, James?
We're watching this great new show on Hulu. It's called MASH.
Oh,
do you mean like the show from the 70s? Because I've definitely watched that.
Was that with Klinger? Is that Klinger? I think it was Klinger.
Yeah. We can all agree anime sucks.
No, we cannot agree on that. I won't even joke about that.
You know what? I have a question for you, and I hope this. You know what? This might be some of my white racism coming out, and I really hope it's not.
It probably is. Go ahead.
It probably is. Let's see. What is it with black people in anime? Am I? First off, am I wrong when I say that?
No. You're
I don't
wrong.
think so.
I don't know. And it's funny you mentioned that because there actually is a contingent of people in the black community that don't want other black people to watch it because they feel like it's taking away from them supporting black creators, which I never understood. Like, why can't we watch everything? But I don't know. I feel like it's maybe a situation where when anime came out, it was sort of niche. And we just gravitated towards it. It wasn't just like all He-Man or, fortunately, G.I. Joe was like 99% white people. So it was like, all right, great. I don't know. I think it's more, it was different. It was different
was it
than
like
most American.
Steph Wilson, I get hentai. I'm all for that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hentai is great.
Hentai is kind of like the gateway drug for anime, I'm sure.
Sad thing is hentai has some better storylines than a lot of American shows nowadays. I mean, just saying it.
No,
But
I feel you there.
I don't know what it is specifically.
Because I mean, I've heard things like, it has a lot to do with Wu-Tang Clan made it very popular.
Sure, but
the Boondocks, but that feels like
that was later though. That was
right. I feel like that's
Wu-Tang,
a chicken before the egg kind of thing.
Wu-Tang made it cool to say you liked anime. Like before that, everybody watched it, but it was just in silence. Like you watched it on your own, you didn't tell anybody. Then Wu-Tang came out and like, oh, you watch anime too? I do too. And then everybody's like, okay. And then Boondocks came out, and that's not really anime because it's still American. It's from an American studio, but it had that style, so it sort of just pushed it where we could like it even more.
Well, but isn't it very isn't there a lot of kind of anime sort of themes to it and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the action and how the story is paced, it's very anime, but the story itself is more about these two black kids growing up and how they deal with things in their hood.
Yeah. Sammy Bobby, what's up? He says, been a fan of Fist of the North Star since the animated movie in 1886.
1886.
Yeah,
wow.
that's quite the movie. That's
damn.
I've never seen that movie. I'm really interested. How'd you get on that?
That was when it was on parchment paper, wasn't it?
It's cue cards just put up really fast. But yeah, Brian Manell, anime is awesome, but cartoons in general, my jam. Yeah. Poor Don, he lost his he says he lost his nerd card because he didn't like it because he was not an anime fan. But then he goes on to say that he enjoyed Robotech, Macross, whatever the fuck that is.
Gotcha, man.
Okay.
God, you got to watch these things, dude.
No, I don't.
Wait, if you're gonna tell me to go watch Good Place, you got to watch something.
That's true. So here was the funny. So I remember someone calling me out and saying, because I had said I don't do manga, and I said, well, just so you're aware, manga is comics.
Yeah.
So technically, there's a kind of a level of racism there, and I was like, well, I think that's stretching it a little bit, but I think you're right. I think that there is something wrong in me that I'm not just going to try to at least give it a better shot. So I've been trying to, at least when they come across my desk and whatnot. I'm not actively seeking them out, but when it shows up, I'll certainly check it out. But I had some people come by my table and say, yeah, I don't enjoy American comics. I enjoy manga. And I was like, look. If I have to read manga, you have to read American comics. Like, it fucking goes both ways. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah.
I never understood that. They're both comics. They're both just illustrated books. The look is a little different, sure, but it's still just the same. I don't know.
It's okay. So the comics, I just didn't really have. I wasn't able to get my hands on them very often, and of course, the need to do so was not there. Yeah. But the actual animes, I often found that the storytelling to me was a little over the top. A lot of the emotions and whatnot, the teardrop, beside the eye, all the kind of shit. Yeah. It really kind of took me out of things.
Okay.
And so people were like, oh, well, you just have to get used to that. That's how they do it. And I was like, I don't have to. I can choose not to watch them. Like, you need to understand that there's fucking options. And I just, those are things I don't like, but can I get over them? Well, I'm going to try and we'll see what happens.
I'm surprised your kids haven't dragged you into watching anime. Right?
My kids won't read or watch my shit, so I won't read or watch. Like, fuck that.
Wow. This feels like our football conversation we had before this all went down.
Well, it's not even about what they like. They won't even look at my books. My books.
Okay. Wow.
Do your kids read your books at all?
Not all of them. They read a handful. I mean,
yeah.
I've produced 10 books now. I think they've read like 4 or 5, so at least half. Yeah,
something.
Well, the kids that can read, I should say. Akira, that's a good option there. I think you would like Akira, actually.
Actually, I've heard that I would. I believe I would too. I've heard very good things.
James mentioned Vampire Hunter D. That is a underrated anime, and I highly recommend it if nobody's watched that out. It's old school, but it's fucking awesome. Sorry. No, I
No.
love it that the chat is just all mentioning animes for you to check out.
Right? James Sims, nerd status confirmed because he just mentioned a bunch of things. Akira, Van Helsing, Dead Man Wonderland. I don't know most of these. Yeah. Holy fuck, you guys are saying, wow. My kid peed on my book. I don't even know what that means.
No, look at the next comment. He said my cat.
Oh, cat. Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
Unless his kid is named Cat, maybe.
Right?
I don't know.
Ninja Scroll is awesome. So
yes, it is.
Ninja Scroll was one of the first animes that I got into, and it was one of the reasons I didn't love anime. Because I did feel like it was too over the top. I did have a bit of a and especially like the ultra violence and all that kind of stuff. At that age, I just wasn't really into it.
How old were you? At the time?
17.
All right, I'm out. It's nice seeing everybody.
I'm Canadian. We don't do ultra violence.
You just do putang. Yeah, I know.
We do putang, so we do sex and cursing. We just don't do a lot of the violence.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I will rein in my disappointment right now.
What are you, my wife? So let's try to let's get away from our TV shows because we're like 45 minutes
hour into this. Dude.
We haven't even talked about any of your stuff. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, your origins as a comic fan, and your origins as a comic creator?
Holy shit.
46 minutes in.
46. See, I knew this was going to happen because
this is a shit show, yeah.
We just BS too much. All right. Origins as a comic fan. God, that'd be like late 80s. I got into comics, mostly X-Men. Not Spider-Man. It was mostly X-Men drew me into comics, especially when the animated series came out. I was like, this is badass. I need to know where it came from. So then I started reading the comics. I started getting every X title there was. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, got into comics because of that. And, I just loved it. I've loved comics since then. And then, about 7 years ago, I created my own company called Big Tree Comics and started producing my own books. I wrote and drew Shaman's Destiny, which I did 6 issues of that on my own. Wrote, drew, colored, lettered, and made so many mistakes, but it helped me to become a better creator. I feel like knowing the process and knowing where I screwed up that many times on so many issues saw the Lightning Builder, which was the first book from Taurus Comics, so much better. So
you started Big Tree?
Yeah, I started Big Tree.
So why stop Big Tree and then move on to
we're getting into I started Big Tree Comics, and then I brought in a couple friends of mine, and they helped them produce some comics. I edited their books, and as time went on, they slowly started getting away from making comics, and they started doing other things it was making them money when we went to cons. Like they were doing caricatures and what are those trading cards, sketch cards. Yeah, and all these other things. And I was like, that's fine. You guys, you want to do that, but I want to make comics. And it went on for a while, and I was like, you know what? I need to go off and do my own. You guys can have this. I've helped you build it up. You have a name. You have a platform. I'm gonna go and start my own thing and just do what I want to do. And then because I was tired of just waiting for people, and I'm very impatient at times. So I don't want to wait for things if I don't have to. So I was like, yeah, screw it. I'm just going to start on my own. And I lost some friends for doing that, but I felt like for me to become a better creator, I had to.
I mean, business kind of has to sort of come first at times.
Yeah. I mean, when I was with them, they produced 3 issues within a span of I think 3 years, which is not bad in between other things, but nobody was moving on from anything else. And I could tell there was no inspiration to do anything outside of the extracurricular stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna, because I was also fronting a lot of the money for shows. transportation. I was paying all our taxes a lot of times out of my own pocket. Like I wasn't asking for any of their money to pay any taxes for things.
But they were probably making the lion's share by doing sketch cards and all that commissions and shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there were times where they would make a ton of bank, and we would leave, and I'd be like, "I'm losing money," but I wouldn't ask for anything. I wouldn't ask any of their money to cover any of my expenses because I'm not that kind of guy. I'm like, "All right, you worked hard for your money. That's your money," and I just felt like if I'm going to spend all this money, why focus on the group?
Yeah.
Why not just focus on me? And it's worked out since then for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe it. Brian Manel says that he agrees with me on anime, so he's going to give me some suggestions. Good. I'd like that. I would like to check some stuff out. So thank you. John Westhoff is in the house. Katrina hopes nobody pees on her book. See, okay, have you ever heard about Kiss? When Kiss made their book, their comic book, they infused their blood into the ink. Well, when Sean and I made Belial, we infused our piss and some liquor into the ink. So there is pee on everybody's book.
Also, Mark Grunwald, when he died, his ashes were put into one of the issues of Avengers.
Really?
Yes. It's either Avengers or Captain America. But yeah, when he died, they cremated him and mixed his ashes into the ink for printing.
I would love that. I think that's really cool.
You would love us. You would want us to kill you and cremate you? I mean, I can do that.
Well, I'd like to die on my own, and then afterwards, yeah.
All right. I'll wait for then. I'll wait.
Yeah. Damn my patience. John Westhoff pees on all of my books. That makes sense. Sarah's in the house.
What's going on,
Sarah? What's up, girl? John had similar experiences. Partnerships are difficult.
And I've been asked to join other groups after that, and I just don't want to. I've been burned, and I'm like, if I'm going to fail, I'd rather fail on my own than fail with the group.
Well, and have you then watched those groups kind of crash and burn on their own, and you're like, see, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, because so many egos come into play when you get a group, especially at this level, because everybody thinks their ideas are gold. And I get that, and because I think all my ideas are great. So many people were like, "Well, why isn't my shit selling? It must be because everybody else." And it's like, well, you gotta be honest.
I totally feel the thing is, my job is literally to tell you that your ideas aren't gold. That there is work to do, and so then to bring me into that partnership. You have to understand that I'm going to say that, hey, Becca, it's time for bed. I want you to take care of the dogs and stuff, okay? So bringing me into that partnership, if we want the best out of that thing, I'm going to tell you where I think you can improve and what would work best. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. So cool, no problem. Hire me as your editor, but don't partner with me because I will fucking tell you.
Yeah. If nobody knows, Chuck actually edited Ruby from Planet Oz #1. It was a series I produced 2 years ago, I think, at this point.
I think it was more than that. I think it was like 2018, 2019.
Well, it's 2 years ago. 19's 2000 year. Anyways, going over the script, there was a bunch of times Chuck was like, yeah, this doesn't make sense, dude. You need to look at this. And is this really what you want to say? And I was like, I guess. I don't know. And this was really the first time I had worked with an actual editor. Because I've edited my own book and I've had my wife edit it. And it was all right. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. So when Chuck was coming back with feedback, a lot of times I was like, well, fuck you, Chuck. You don't know what you don't see my vision. And then I did. Like the first few times you gave me feedback, I was like, fuck you, Chuck. That's not right. And then I had to sit back and I was like, no, wait, he's doing this for a reason. He's not just being a jerk about this. And I had to go back and really reread what you were trying to tell me. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I had to get off my high horse and be like, yeah, that makes sense.
I did not. It's literally been, 2 years or so. I did not know that you had that. This is the first time I'm hearing that. So thank you for saying that because that means a lot to me. I really do appreciate the honesty. Fuck you. Like I don't. So thank you. That's pretty great, actually.
But then I took his words to heart and listened to most of them and made the corrections he did. So, listen to your editors is what I'm trying to say.
Sarah says, sounds like you made tough but good decisions. I think so.
Yeah.
I think you doing your own shit is, yeah. Mike says, please put your ashes in Welcome to the Void 2. No, because I want to see 3 and 4 and so on. I have so much more thought for that series and other things that I want to do and shit.
So then are you confirming at this point that there will be a Welcome to the Void 2? Because it's been 3 years since issue 1 came out, buddy.
3 years. And it's like it's been like 75% done for years. Yeah. A lot of just a second, Rebecca. A lot of what I've been doing is focusing on other people's work and not so much on my own. So even when I do things like Belial or Essence House, because I'm working with someone else, I make that stuff my number one priority.
Sure.
Or at least a higher priority than my own stuff. And so I just recently did some edits on and got some work done on Welcome to the Void. So yeah, that should be moving forward.
All right. I'm excited.
What is it, Rebecca?
She wants to be on the show.
It's over here. Why do you need it? Oh my Lord. Put it in and go to bed, please. Did you take care of the dogs? Oh, some people's children.
Sorry, I'm just reading the chat.
I know, right? What, you burned in the comic book industry? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, night, Becca. Yeah, see? Even the chat is saying go to fucking sleep. Yes, I want all of you to take care of the dogs and go to bed.
I did.
Editors are awesome. Chuck is a lot of people's firsts.
Yeah.
A couple. That did that. Well, yeah, I can see why. Everyone is wanting Chuck's ashes while still alive. I'm gonna have to like burn a finger or a fingernail or something and give it to people.
We want a pound of your flesh, damn it.
Well, I mean, I have pounds to give away. Let's be honest.
Fair enough.
If that's a thing, I'll do my best.
Hey, I'm trying to lose weight. I have a wedding to go to at the end of October. I'm trying to lose some this body fat here.
I've been doing that too. It's been really tough, but I've lost 10 so far, so that's a start.
Nice. Congrats, man.
Thank
you.
Keep
it up. You're looking sexier.
Oh, you. Trish says Chuck is our first and best. I try. You know, that you do realize, though, that's a bit of a backhanded compliment, right? Like, he's our first and best. Well, best out of one. Like, yeah, that's pretty great.
You're still the best, all right? Just think of it, you're still the best, okay?
Yeah. I've tried keto. Keto's great for losing the pounds, but staying on keto is really difficult. Yeah.
And the moment you get off of keto, you just gain most of it right away.
And then some. Yeah. And then what do we got here? Brian Manel, when I'm asked that I need to change things, I'll be like, well, fine, I'll change it, damn it. That's as long as you change it, we don't really give a fuck what your reaction is. Like, fine, I'll do it. All right, you want to act like a kid? I don't fucking care. Just fix it.
It goes back to our egos. When you, and especially when you haven't worked with somebody for a while, and you see their comments and their feedback, and you're like, fuck, they're right, but damn it, this is a blow to my ego so much.
I had, you know what? There is a thing that happened with Belial 2. Where in the ink, we talked about that.
Okay.
But no, so with Belial 2, there's this one cover Chris Mad did. And it's the one with Link is using Photoshop, and he put his head onto one of the succubus's bodies.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a little speech bubble that said, "That's what you get for keeping me off a cover." Okay. I fought with Sean and Wendy, and they both said, I think it's better clean without the speech bubble, blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
I really did. I was like, nah, dude, I'm telling you, this is fucking funny. The joke is not going to hit, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, but the image is so beautiful. And I'm like, fuck the image. The joke is, the joke makes the image, blah, blah, blah. And I lost that battle. To this day, I still want to see it with that speech bubble on there. But still, there was my editor and my partner said, no, we disagree. And for me to do differently would have been a dick move.
You can do like a short run of an editor's cover. And just have it.
Right? Well, I'm not. I'm the writer. It would be a writer's cover.
Okay, you're right.
I didn't edit that book.
You're right. I feel like you edit everything nowadays. So.
I do, but I won't edit my own stuff. I refuse. I'm too much work, and I know it.
That could be taken so many ways,
right? Mike lost 265 pounds. Good for him.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
That is great.
Throw your fits, but do what you're told. That's it, exactly, girl. Oh, Brian says, no, that comment wasn't done yet. LOL. It's more like, fine, I will change it, damn it. I'll make it better. You'll see. Watch me write this. Yes, that's very different. That's very different. Yeah, that's much different, my friend.
That's sort of what I was thinking too, actually.
Oh, Sarah says, maybe your inner nose turned into ash with the hot sauce. Yes, it certainly did. You heard about that, didn't you?
No. What?
Are you kidding me?
No.
All right, guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this story. So, day one of Belial, we were at $1,500 already, and we were starting a live show with on Demon Nation with Phil Locklear. It was Sean and myself. And just before the show, I said, hey, how fucking funny would it be if we did shots of hot sauce every time we got a new backer? And Phil was like, that's fucking nuts. And Sean was like, yeah, that's just entertainment. Let's do it, buddy. I was like, okay, great. So we did it. And we were doing, every time we got a new backer, we were doing hot shots. And we, early on, someone said, what if you get to 2,000? And I scoffed and I said, there's no fucking way we're making it to 2,000. So if we get to 2,000, fuck it. I'll do a line of this shit. I'll snort it.
Oh, shit.
Those fuckers got us to $2,000.
Why would you not think they would do that?
Well,
people love torture.
I know, but you know what was great? It was fucking worth it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, sure.
It was totally like to make $2,000 on the first day was really fucking worth it. So I was like, all right. So I actually can show you. I actually have it bookmarked. It's exactly like 54 minutes into this thing, and
I have it saved for any
I
occasion.
do, because people will be like, "Oh my gosh," and I'll take them there and I'll show it to them, and it's just me. I snort it, and then I'm like, "Fuck you, fucking fuck," just swearing it. Oh yeah, it was brutal.
Oh,
it was rough.
Yeah, you have to share that with me.
Oh, I absolutely will share that to you. He says, I hear Chuck in my head every time I'm working in Zulunar and about to go off script, and I get scared. Good man.
I hear Chuck every time I go in the bathroom, but that's just a different story.
Yeah, I do sound like a fart.
Yeah.
Marvel and DC also said, fuck the image. I'm trying to see what else we got here. Blah, blah, blah. I love the way you say fuck like the Smurfs say Smurf. That's true. I didn't think about that, but I guess I do. We're having a fucking good time. We made a huge pledge. Still feel guilty about it to this day. Oh, don't. It was brilliant. Like that. People like I mean, look, we're almost a year later. People are still talking about it.
Chuck can't smell anything now outside of hot sauce, but it was worth it.
It was totally worth it. Sarah says, oh, Lord, I was laughing so hard when you did both nostrils and poor Sean rubbed his eye. Yeah, that was a different show. I was paid $200 to snort through both nostrils, and I was like, yeah, I could really use the cash.
Was this not for Belial or was it for something else?
It was just after Belial.
Oh, times are tough. You have to do what you have to do.
I know, right? Dave's $200.
Hey, man, as long as you got paid.
And I did. They thought Sean was gonna die. Yeah, Sean went fucking beat ass fucking red. Holy shit, he looked like Belial. It was great.
See, I'm not a hot sauce type of person. I'm not. I'm just not spicy anything. I can do it, but it's just if I can avoid it, I will.
I like Frank's Red Hot. Anything above that is too much for me. So I'm not a massive hot sauce person, but I do enjoy it.
Have you
Brian
done the one chip challenge?
No, we were supposed to, but I want to.
We did that, and I hated every minute of it.
You should, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
but it's
Never
great.
do that. Yeah.
But you should, yeah. Brian says, what kind of stories do you gravitate towards for both reading, watching, and writing? So back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
What? You want to talk about comics? What kind of stories do I gravitate towards? Usually I gravitate towards superhero stuff. That's my bread and butter. That's what I love to read, and that's what I love to write. And I think that shows in my passion for Saw the Lightning Wielder, probably my biggest story so far.
Yeah, I think so.
I will occasionally read like some horror stuff here and there, maybe the noir stuff, but give me a good superhero story. I can read that all day, every day. And yeah, that's all.
Speaking of hot, spicy things, Terry Horner's in the house. What's up, girl?
Hi, Terry.
Good to see you. Yeah, you know, I'm actually, so it was funny. Chris Tomasmo messaged me today, and he said,
"Me too."
Oh, okay. He said, besides my superheroes, and he said it with a wink, which are your favorites? And I had to tell him, I'm actually pretty much off the superhero train. I'm not a huge fan. I do not go out of my way. So a lot of Ace Blade I haven't read yet. You know, like a lot of those superheroes I have not, simply just not checked out because I'm really not all that interested. But I did say, if there was a superhero, an indie superhero that I'm excited about, it's definitely been Saw.
Thank you.
And that was the one I mentioned. I think you did great work on that. I haven't read the third, but I will. Had enough time, but yeah.
That's funny because I really was serious. Chris messaged me today. He was like, "Do you like writing action and fighting sequences?" I was like, "They're okay. I will write them, but I actually enjoy talking head stuff. You know, seeing the relationships between people develop. I like writing that." Which is weird to say because I love superhero comics, but I think I love the idea of the superheroes being human more than being superheroes. I like seeing that aspect of them more. So, but it's weird that Chris is just messaging everybody today. He must have been lonely.
Or he's just messaging the cool people.
So why did he message me?
Butt dial?
That happens a lot.
Oh shit! You can hear it in my laugh. My voice is still a little raspy from this weekend.
Oh God.
Do you have a favorite Marvel film? Good question.
Good question. I got to go with Endgame at this point. Just the ability of Endgame just wrapping up everything, and 10 years of just watching all these movies come together. And then let's be honest, the fight scene between Cap and Thanos and the whole him picking up the hammer, there was so much excitement that came with
that's
that
my
one
favorite
scene.
moment.
Yeah.
Terry is asking, where can I get your books?
You can come to my house and get them out my garage. I will give you a discount if you want to take them all. Otherwise, you can go to tauruscomics.com and I ship them anywhere within the North America. I think my website's set up for just within North America. I don't think you do.
Give her the pitch for Saw, because that's a really cool book, and I think she might appreciate that.
So Saw is about a teenage girl who is now fused with the lightning god. And this is sorry, I just drank some water now, so I'm all like trying to guzzle that down. But she's now fused with this lightning god who's been protecting Hmong people for the last few centuries. And now her name is Tracy. She is now the newest embodiment of this. And now she's thrown against this Lord Eclipse, who is Saw's big bad guy who's been fighting him for decades and centuries and whatnot. So now she's thrown into this everlasting battle between Lord Eclipse and the Saw entity. Issue 3 wraps all that up into a nice little bow, but then has a little bit of a cliffhanger that's going to lead to issue 4 and beyond. So when Chuck reads that, he'll find out about that. And I actually wrote something just for Chuck in that, and he still hasn't read it, which disappoints me.
You had said that. I will.
Yeah.
I will definitely check it out. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then
my problem is that I've gotten to the point where I don't like to read comics because I know that if I read a comic, I'm gonna want to review it right away. So, or I'm gonna feel like I should review it right away, and so that effectively means that if I read a 5-minute comic, it's actually like an hour out of my life right there and then.
So, if you guys haven't listened to my podcast, it's called the Four Tales Podcast. It's co-hosted with Danny J. Quick of Ace Blade fame. And we have a thing where we say, take a comic into the bathroom with you. When you know you're going to go poop and you know you're going to be there for a good 5-10 minutes, take a comic in there, read it. Don't take your phone, leave your phone away. Take the comic and enjoy it. Enjoy the time. And we try to advocate for that a lot. So,
I think that's smart. I think for me, comics have become too much. They've become more work than a pleasure thing.
Yeah.
And I need to separate myself from that somehow.
Yeah.
I agree. That's smart.
Yeah.
Alfie Fruin is in the house. Good to see you,
up,
bud.
Alfie?
What about superheroes grabs your interest?
I think it's just the idea of these characters being more than human and putting aside their ego most of the time, sacrificing their own safety to save others. I think that selflessness is what attracts me. We live in a world too much where it's all about me, me, me. And just seeing these heroes that are out there and want to give their all for complete strangers is nice. It's refreshing.
Yeah, absolutely. I can feel you there. Sarah loved Blau 1 and 2. Thank you, sweetheart. How many issues do you plan to make, or do you know yet? I do know. It's a 4-part miniseries. It will all wrap up, but we'll be leaving, again, same thing. We'll be leaving just enough that if we decide to come back to it, we will be able to do so.
Blau's great, by the way.
Thank you, homie. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Yeah, you see, Brian's kind of off of the superhero train too. But again, like it is heroes like Saw. I wouldn't call who's it? Is Narnia the Were-Spider? I don't think of him as a superhero.
No, actually, Greg calls his series a horror comic, and I don't see it as a horror. But he wants it to be a horror.
The 2 I read were the exact opposite of horror.
Yeah,
because I haven't read the first 2 volumes.
It's an adventure series, but it's not superhero. It's definitely not a superhero, but it's an adventure series.
What are your thoughts on What If? I haven't watched it yet, so.
Oh, my family we are enjoying What If, and it's honestly it's just like the comic series of What If, where they're just taking random stories and just throwing it out there. If you are watching What If and you saw the episode of Doctor Strange, and if you haven't already, go see Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings. There, at least to me, there was a connection between the Doctor Strange What If series and the big bad in Shang-Chi. I talked to a couple people and they're like, I didn't notice that, but yeah, you're right. Don't know if it's true, but there does seem to be a correlation there.
That's cool. Sarah has boob dialed when her pocket was between her boobs. I would love it if you boob dialed me. I'm just saying.
I boob dialed a couple people.
Karen, putting you on the spot. Who's your favorite indie character, hero or villain?
Okay.
Or both.
Favorite indie character is Long John. It's from Long John the webcomic. And I have said this many times on anybody's asked me, Long John webcomic is my favorite, one of my favorite comics. It's not even just indie comics, but one of my favorite comics. And I know Chuck, you probably would love this more anything because it's not a superhero book. It's about this Western cowboy who wakes up in the middle of the desert. His posse is gone. All his clothes are gone. He's only wearing his underwear, which is why it's called Long John. And it's a story about him trying to figure out what happened to him the night before and where everything went bad. And that's my favorite indie character. Indie villain? Oh, God. That's a good question. I don't know if can pinpoint one indie villain. I mean, Greg's is not so the Were Spider. The Jaguar character from that series was great. Scott Weldon's book has some great villains in that series. Harlan Buck Free Sword is Scott Weldon's book. Drexler by Nathan Kelly has some great villain demons. But I can't really pinpoint just one villain because villains are interesting to me because I feel like the villain is really what makes a superhero series good or not. Like if you can have a great villain, the superhero is really afterthought at that point because everybody's focused on what the villain does. So a lot of these indie characters are so good because their villains are so good.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, we got. Oh, look at this! Holy shit! There's a lot of stuff going on here.
You're a popular guy.
We're popular. We're on this together.
Okay.
TaurusComics.com.
Thank you.
Oh wow, you have a podcast. Yeah. Everybody has a fucking podcast.
Well, no, okay. That's Greg, more likely from Cyrano Comics, and he's only saying that because he was a guest on my podcast this week.
Oh, that's right.
So you can go to YouTube right now and search Four Tales Podcast. You can view the video, or you can listen to the audio this Friday when it drops.
So the Bankstons are already ahead of you. They have comic racks in both bathrooms.
There you go. See?
So yeah. Oh, she keeps one in her car too. That's smart.
I was actually thinking about if I ever had to do Lyft or Uber, putting a couple of my books in the back for people to read.
It's a neat idea.
Yeah, especially because I need the money. So
if you could have a power, what would it be?
Okay, so I've thought about that before. And since I'm a dad, I would want the ability of teleportation. So I can teleport my kids to school so I don't have to drop them off because it is a pain in the ass doing that. But if I'm being a hero, which I'm pretty sure that's for, I would probably have to say flight. I think flight's not very underutilized in comics as far as the actual fighting with it. Everybody just uses flight to get from point A to point B. But I think you can use flight for so many other things, and I think that'd just be cool.
Flight feels like a secondary power more than anything else.
Yeah. And it can be, but I think you can utilize if depending on how you do it, it can be very useful.
Yeah. I just mean like the way it's used usually. It's more of a secondary power. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm a telepathy guy. I love telepathy. And also the idea of healing. I feel like a lot of my fears would be alleviated if I knew that I could just regenerate.
See, I'd be scared to have telepathy because I'm the type of person where if I had telepathy, I'd probably use it to force people to do things. I'd just be like, you a-hole, you parked there, and I was going to park there, go drive off the cliff or something.
Yeah. This is cool. What would be a cool what-if story for your superhero comics?
Oh, I'd probably have to do Ruby from Planet Oz. And it'd be, what if Ruby did not get sucked up and taken to Oz? What would happen with the rest of the people that are on the planet? Like how things would transpire from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who's the character from Shaman's Destiny?
Malik is the main character, and then there's also the rabbit. His name is Jeff.
Yeah. So my what if would be, what if Malik became the next Saw?
So he has the powers of a shaman and Saw. Okay. That'd be too powered.
Maybe, but they may not work together. One might cancel the other out.
Okay. All right.
Like maybe when he goes Saw, he loses all of his shaman powers.
So he has to figure out what works best. Or maybe... all right. Yeah. That's actually not bad. I'll have to talk to you after that.
Yeah, right? That would be fun. Holy shit, guys. Man, you guys are awesome. There's so much stuff going on here. I should take extra copies of my book to leave at the hotel if they have a lending library. Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
I've thought about it. My problem is I only have so many copies of Essence House, and they're literally money. Like,
Yeah.
I try not to. I've given away very few of them because it's like really like to sell these, and especially like at the table.
Well, like the book that we did, Cthulhu Invades Oz, at the first event I did this year, I sold out of my regular copies of that, and that's just pure money for me.
Yep.
And even though I have the hardcovers and the glow and dark one, they sell crazy, and I don't want to give those away if possible.
I sold all of my I had a bunch of copies, and I sold them all at Fan Expo. I literally contacted Travis, and I was like, "Hey, can I buy some more?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay." So I bought some more, and they all got sold at that show.
I didn't know we could buy more. I'll have to reach out to Travis and see. Okay.
I don't know if anyone asked this yet, but for both of you, would you want to be a superhero, a villain, or an anti-hero?
Well, I don't want to be a villain. I'd like people actually liking me. So I would probably be a superhero. I think I've grown up helping people too often. My wife says I help people way too much, and I think of others more than myself too often. So I'd probably be a superhero pretty easily. And I'm not enough of a jerk to be an anti-hero, I think.
I think I'd be this gray area between hero and anti-hero, which
You're
is
an anti-hero then, come on.
Well, the thing is like I'm a pacifist, so I can't kill. There's a lot of that stuff. But as far as following the law, I have no problem breaking the law. That's not an issue for me at all. Like I'd be like, you'd have a bunch of these heroes all like sitting in the Justice League or whatever, and I'd be smoking a joint, just being like, "No, I've got a really good idea right now. This would work really." And they're like, "You can't do this here." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I have superpowers. I'm doing this right here. Are we about to get to something? Like, don't start shit. There won't be shit."
I can see you saying that to Batman. And then Batman just clocks you.
Yeah, right? And I'm fine with that.
You're like Guy Gardner then.
Yeah. Probably a little more than that, yeah. Brian Manel, whoa. What if you teleported every half inch? It'll look like you're gliding. You'd freak so many people out. That would be awesome.
Fair.
See, Terry loves telepathy too. Yeah, it's perfect. Sarah says, my favorite character in Belial is the Imp. I'd love to have a sticker or something of him. I have stickers. I could definitely send you some stickers, son. Link is my favorite too.
Wasn't there a sticker for issue 1? Because I think I remember getting a sticker from that.
There's stickers for issue 1 and issue 2.
Okay. I think I remember. Yeah, you're right. Link was from issue 1, and then Belial's for issue 2, right?
No, we had 3 stickers for issue 1. They were Link, Belial, and War. And then we had 5 for issue 2, and I believe it was Link, Belial, War, Pestilence, and Famine.
Why didn't I get stickers for that? I don't know. Damn it! I'll have to talk to Sean when we do our convention together.
Right.
Buy some from him.
Yeah, just pay. He should have a bunch of leftovers. Let's keep going. Leave a card for the audiobook and then your website. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Put it right next to the Bible.
Alfie would love to be Kingpin or Namor. That's cool.
Yeah.
Kira, are you saying that you're chaotic good, or are you talking about your podcast? Is this like a shameless plug? Brian has to head out. Thank you, buddy. We really appreciate having you here.
Peace out, Brian.
Sarah says there are drop-off locations around me that are donations to books for prisoners. For ones I have and aren't keeping, that's where they're going. Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
He still has to read Belial 2 and Saw 2 and 3 among a million. Yeah. I mean, you support a lot of stuff, so we get it.
Yeah, take that time, though.
We could make that happen. I am chaotic. I very much am chaotic good. Yep. The laws do not matter as much as just doing good things.
So is that going to be your superhero name then, Chaotic Good?
Yeah, well, I was gonna call myself CG, but some other group of assholes took that from me. So
Wow. I thought we weren't going to get into that.
no, we're not, but had to fuck around a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, that's where thank you, Trish. That is where you can pick up Bilal. InstinctComics.com.
Say that 3 times fast.
Right? Yeah, chaotic good all the way. Fuck yeah. So you and I worked together on Cthulhu Invades Oz.
Yes, sir.
And I had
8 pages, sorry.
8 pages, yeah. I would like to know, and this isn't about evaluation or anything, but what would be the difference, say, in like where you worked with me, and then on the next one you worked with Wendy? So, working with different writers, what are the differences for you?
I mean, I'll be honest. When I was working with Wendy, I was very nervous. I don't know. With working with you, because you and I have talked for so many years, it was just like we're homies. But with working with Wendy, I did not want to let her down at all. I felt like I was redoing pages and pages, and then I guess this will be a little bit of a secret for your chat. I messed up on like 2 pages somehow and combined it into 1 page. Like, I don't know how I did that. I had the script, and I was looking at the script, and I just flipped through it, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know why this is 1 page now, but here it is.
We saw it, and I was like, Wendy's like, hey, here it is. Something seems odd. I'm like, well, yeah, you only got 3 pages. Didn't you write 4? And she's like, I did. And I'm like, how the fuck did he get 3 pages?
I don't know. And I literally was, as I was drawing it, and I was like, this page is not flowing, but this is what she wants, so I'm going to draw it. So I was just so not wanting to disappoint her. But it was nice because I felt like, at least for Wendy, she had a lot more detail. Like, she really had a vision on what she wanted each of her pages to be. Mm-hmm. And I'm fine with that because I'm still learning how to work from other people's scripts. Like, outside of you and her, I think I've only worked with 2 other people on a script. I've only just drawn my own stuff. So getting somebody that was really detail orientated in their scripts was really nice. But at the same time, there was this pressure I felt I was putting on myself, honestly, of saying, I have to get this exactly like is in her head. Otherwise, I'm going to disappoint her. And I don't want to do that. And honestly, that slowed me down a lot of times. That my own head slows me down a lot, unfortunately. That anxiety and self-doubt creeps in a lot. And, it happens. And I just have to work through it sometimes.
Thank you. We think she rocks too.
I agree. Chuck is a lucky guy there.
I am a lucky guy. I am. Thank you. Yeah, you know what? So even like her and I, we wrote a lot of prose together, and she is much more detail oriented. In comics, though, I feel like it's such a it's all about the team. Mm-hmm. And so I tend to put out just as much information as I need to have on the page to inspire you to go where I'm hoping you go. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that you'll take it above and beyond what I put on the page. So I try not to put too much in there because I don't want to handcuff you. That's kind of my philosophy.
I think it varies from artist to artist. And I think for me personally, because I'm so new at working with other scripts, the extra information helps. Like for your script, when we did Oz, and we had the 1 page inside of the kitchen, I struggled on that page so much because I had this vision, and I was like, I want to do this, and I want to make it look good. But every time I drew it out, it didn't look good, and I kept coming back, and I was like, Chuck, is this really what you want? And I guess I was fishing for more information, more details from you, and you're like, no, just go for it. And I was like, no, Chuck, I think I'm screwing up on this too. And you're like, no, you're doing fine. Just go for it. Just draw it out. I was like, all right. And then what I came up with, I felt like is a nice medium ground of what I initially had. But I don't know if it was what you envisioned. So
I wasn't envisioning it too hard. I felt like you did get the kitchen really well, and I love especially where because it was black and white, and then that portal was all colored and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I felt like that page was so well done.
Yeah.
And of course, having me in as the chef was such a nice little thing. I love that nod.
It was perfect because you're always saying, I'm a great chef. I'm a great chef. And I was like, well, fucking, I'm going to put you in as chef.
That was pretty great, man. I really appreciate it. That was fun. And I'm super proud of that piece. What I loved about that particular piece was that each person took the general idea of what was given to them and elevated it. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, Cthulhu invades Oz. And I got to grab that and take it to the next level. I felt like I was one of the few people who was really willing to put their character in the shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you read all of it?
Yeah, I read everything. I read the whole book. And I felt bad for a Scarecrow after that. Like, when I read our script, I really thought that was the theme of the entire series. Like, everybody was really trying to get their character to be jacked up by the end of their section. And I read ours, and I was like, well, no, we just fucked our guy up big time, and everybody else was outside the pumpkin story. I can't remember who did that one.
That was David Byrne.
Okay, but everybody else really was pretty easy on their characters compared to what we did to ours. So
I'm proud of that though. But then we did that, and then the art went to another level. You had a lot of, and I remember even doing the library scene. You kept going over that and bringing it out and whatnot. And then Alan with the colors,
amazing colors,
brilliant, because not only were the colors cool and they had this neat little texture to them, but then he also went, hey, wait, in the movie when they were in Earth, it was black and white, so why don't I make it black and white? And I was like, that's fucking brilliant.
That was
brilliant. And it was such a beautiful touch.
And even the black and white had its own look to it. It had its highlights texture. And its textures. And I was like, wow, even the black and whites look amazing on that. So Alan, I gave him so many props for doing that.
Yeah, I was really proud of that. And actually, I had somebody at a show. They came back to me they read it and then came back the next day, and they were like, I just read all of Cthulhu Invades Oz. Which one was yours again? And I said, I was the Scarecrow. And I was like, they go, oh, you were a jerk to him. I was like, thanks. Like, I kind of hold that as a badge of honor. So going to like, he had it rough. And I was like, well, I kind of felt like it's fucking Cthulhu. Like, if you're getting out of there unscathed, you didn't I don't think you told the right story.
No, you didn't. I mean, and you're supposed to really learn something about yourself when you're reading Cthulhu or Lovecraftian things. And I felt like we did that with that character in that story.
Yeah.
And I honestly, most of the stories, I felt like everybody did that for most of Cthulhu. I think that was I think Travis really directed that really well. The production on it went smoothly. I don't remember a lot of people having any issues. At least coming up in the group chats that we had. And I think the Kickstarter, of course, went amazing. And it was one of my best experiences working with a group, honestly.
Same here. Absolutely. Kyra says, honestly, with me, I'm not a visual person. I say things like draw melancholy. I need an artist who has vision of their own, not mine. Mine is terrible. At least you're honest.
Honestly, I mean, I think when I write, I'm in that method too, just because I'm so used to writing for myself. So when I write for like Saw, I am very like, I give you the bare bones of what that panel is supposed to look like, and then everything's from you. So I feel bad for David, who drew issue 1 and 2, and Edwin, who drew issue 3. But they'll come up to me, they'll be like, well, is this what you wanted? I was like, whatever you want, dude, it's fine.
Issue 3, Edwin, was that Edwin Arosa?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
he did a no,
Urin, God, why can't I remember his last name right now? I'm blanking.
Such a bad collaborator.
I am. Urin Ropa.
Oh, okay. No, I've never worked with him. Cthulhu Invades Oz is really good. Thank you. I'm noticing that a few people are creating stories about Oz recently. Did it become public domain not long ago? It's been public domain for a bit now, yeah, and so it's definitely something that people get to play with, and especially on. I think the big thing is that on Kickstarter, these public domain things are such great properties because I don't have to fucking explain them to you. Like, so what I'll do is no, I mean honestly, so. This weekend, I had my books out, and people would be like, "Tell me about your book." So what I had was like a 5-second or less pitch for each book, all the way down, and you're like, blah 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 blah, and Cthulhu Invades Oz. I don't have to tell you anything more than
The title.
Cthulhu Invades Oz. If you don't understand that, that book's probably not for you.
Yeah. No,
But if you immediately get that, boom, it's out there. And so I think that's why those properties are doing so well and they're out there so much right now, is because you don't have to teach anybody anything about them. They're already in the zeitgeist. We're already well aware.
Yep.
Katrina, the book is public domain, but the movie isn't. Yes, which was something that we had to be very careful with. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you loved the Scarecrow story. Thank you. We did all work really hard. We had a conversation going back and forth all the time, talking and trying to do well by it. But yeah, Summer for World of Oz is another one. I've heard good things about that.
Yes.
That's Eric Hawkins. I've heard good things. What if series Saw Goes to Oz?
Wow. What if Saw goes to Planet Oz?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll have to see if we can start getting these things together, because you guys are coming up with ideas for my characters, and I don't know if that's how it's supposed to work, you know? I think I'm supposed to come up with names for my stories, and you guys do your own crap, but hey, whatever.
So maybe you should start like walking up to creators that you respect and whatnot and being like, hey, this is what you should do.
Fine. Where's Will Sportacio?
Yeah, right.
Well, this is what you need to make. All right.
This is what you got to do with Bishop. All right.
Rob Liefeld,
okay.
This is what you need to do with. Oh, wait, he doesn't have Youngblood anymore. Never mind. Shit.
What is it? Pouch Man? Is that?
Yeah, but that was just a parody little image he made. Oh, he has Brigade that I still haven't got my book from yet.
Is that his or is that the whatever
That's
it is?
his. Yeah, but that's the
Okay.
Kickstarter that he produced like almost 10 years ago that barely anybody's gotten their books back from. In about 10 years since that Kickstarter. Yeah. That's ridiculous, dude.
Excuse me.
No, you're all right, man.
So are there? I mean, you've worked with a good chunk of people. Am I wrong?
A lot of things I've done have been like pinups and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I've done a good chunk of covers. I did cover for your book.
Yep.
I've done a couple covers actually for Joseph Duas.
Yeah. That one
yeah.
for Crusade of Dracula was killer, dude. That was great.
Thank you. That he was like, I want the character surrounding I can't remember the middle character's name, and he's like, but I want them inside the building.
Radu.
And he showed me what?
Radu.
Okay. And he's like, and he showed me the building that they're in, and it was so intricate and it had so many little crevices, and I was like, oh crap, this is a lot. And that background took like a couple days by itself.
Oh yeah.
So, but I'm excited. I have some things coming up. I don't know if I should be saying this. Well, no, Joseph's mentioned this, but Joseph and I are working on a book. Oh God. Donner Lane. Donner Lane is a pain in the ass book that I want everybody to read so badly.
Am I allowed to say something?
Sure, go ahead.
I read it.
Yeah.
I read.
Okay.
Do you remember sending me that script?
I do.
I read that script and it was really fucking good. Actually, I was really surprised. I was like, because all right, I love this about you. This is where you and I are so different. You are such a happy Christmas guy,
I love Christmas.
And I'm a fucking Grinch.
I love Christmas.
I'm not nostalgic. It just there's so much of the capitalist bullshit that goes into it that I just don't love.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And when I came up with the idea of Donner Lane, come up before wow. Oh shit.
Snap.
Oh, wow. Where is Travis and Marcel?
I know, right?
When I came up with the idea for Donner Lane, I told it to my wife, and she was like, "That's not what you normally make." And I was like, "I know, but it's a badass idea, right?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then I started writing it myself, and I said, "I can't write this because it's not my wheelhouse. It's not something I'm used to writing, and to do it proper justice, I gotta find somebody that can really do that justice." And the first person that came to mind was Joseph. And I was like, dude, can you help me with this? And he was like, and he was confused what I wanted him to do. And I was like, no, I have this idea. I want you to write it. And he's like, you want me to like edit it? And I was like, no, I want you to write this. And he's like, okay. And the first pass he gave me was it. Like he had a couple issues here and there spelling wise, but the ideas that he had was basically everything I had completely fleshed out.
He wrote the shit out of that book.
Yeah. And when I got the first few pages done of it, it blew my mind. I was like, I cannot wait for this book to fucking come out. And now it's not going to be until 2022, maybe 2023, the way things are going, dude.
No. Kira's calling me a heartless bastard. She's not wrong.
No, she's wrong. You have a big heart, dude. You do. You have a big heart.
You
just try to make everybody think you don't, but you have a huge heart. You probably have an enlarged heart that you probably should go to the doctors for and make sure it's okay.
Probably should.
Yeah, but
what's my heartbeat right now? 82 beats per minute.
Oh, what? You I thought you were just effing with me. Do you really have?
No, I have my Fitbit. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were just like, yeah, whatever.
I have.
Yeah, you're like.
No, here's the thing. I hate the commercialization of the holiday, and it really does fucking get to me. But and because I hate the commercialization, when someone says, "What do you want?" 9 times out of 10, it's you know what I like. I wear my heart on my sleeve. You guys know the kind of things I like. Go ahead. I love giving presents. I love looking at someone and going, what would this person just fucking adore? And doing that kind of stuff. I love that. But for me, it's just that the Coke ramming its dick down my throat, and I won't have it.
So you don't want Coke ramming its big black dick down your throat. That's what you're saying.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. And technically, it's a brown dick, but whatever.
Oh, that's right. No, I get it.
Sarah wants her Halloween. Yeah, I get that. I get you want your Halloween. You deserve that.
I can take or leave Halloween, honestly.
Right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite holiday? Is it Christmas?
It's Christmas. Easily Christmas.
Ask me what mine is.
I'm going to say Halloween. Okay, what is your favorite holiday?
It's my fucking birthday.
That does not count. What is your favorite holiday?
Okay, so beyond that, you've probably never heard it before.
It's a Canadian holiday?
It is. It's called Victoria Day. I
have heard of that.
Okay. We call it May 24.
Okay.
And that's because it happens on the 24th of May, the weekend closest to that. And because at this point, we have such a disconnect from Queen Victoria and Great Britain that really it's just a chance for us to party and enjoy ourselves. So and in Canada, a 2-4 is a 24-pack of beer. So May 2-4, it's just a chance to get out and party and have a great time.
So and sort of like 4th of July for America. Kind
of, but there's all this other stuff that you have to celebrate. May 2-4, it's not about any of that shit. You're not celebrating the country. You're just celebrating we're all here. Let's have a good time. Like, that's basically it. It's so much different. You know what it's almost a little more like, which is sad, but it's a little more like Memorial Day is the one in May, right?
Let's see. Memorial Day. I can't remember. Yeah, Memorial Day is in May.
Yeah. I guess it's more like Labor Day.
Okay.
You know, you guys aren't necessarily celebrating anything particular. It's not like you're out there. And I mean, most people, the stupid thing about Labor Day is most people who have to work for a living at a job that's not a 9 to 5, they're working that weekend.
Yeah.
So really, it's just like, hey, this is our chance to just have fun and party before we have to send the kids back to school.
Okay. All right.
So it's a little more like that. So yeah, that would probably be my favorite.
All right. How about next year, May 24th? We all do something. Just party the hell out of it.
I would, yeah. We should do a live stream.
There you go.
Party. I would be all about that.
We will all do shots of hot sauce. Live it
yeah.
up.
Yeah, whatever. I'm down for that.
Yeah, sure.
Sierra Nova says, yeah, I already saw a TikTok of a Walmart setting up for Christmas. Yeah. I saw that today. Dollar General was doing that.
I just bought Christmas ornaments like last month from Walmart. They were Star Wars Christmas ornaments. I had to get it. But yeah, they've been.
Katrina said the best thing she got for her birthday last year was the card from Eric and I. Aw, I don't even remember what it was, but you're very welcome. I remember doing it, but I don't remember what we wrote or anything.
I didn't get a card for my birthday, Chuck. What's up with this? And Eric was in this?
Yeah, I would blame it on Eric because I'm pretty sure Eric was the mastermind behind it.
Fuck Eric.
Fuck Eric.
Wait,
your expulsion from the womb day. Yeah.
Nova Comics says they love Thanksgiving, and I love Thanksgiving also. But I'm already too fat. I can't gain any more weight.
I love Thanksgiving because I get 2 of them.
I get 2 also because I celebrate with my wife's family and I celebrate with my family. For some reason, we've never done a Thanksgiving together as one big family. I don't know why.
I mean, obviously, I have Canadian Thanksgiving and American Thanksgiving. So what I miss is we used to do this back home. We did Misfits holidays, and that's because we had a bunch of friends at that time who were in college or who weren't at home and such, and so they didn't necessarily have somewhere to be. And so I would make a huge fucking Thanksgiving dinner and we would all get together and we would enjoy that together. And I would usually cook pretty much all of it by myself. And we would enjoy that together. We do Misfits Thanksgiving. It was a blast. And then what would happen is there would usually be just enough stuff that enough leftovers that when the kids had gone to bed and the night had finished and whatnot, everyone else who had been at their own Thanksgivings would come over. We would smoke and then destroy the leftovers, and there would be nothing left. Nothing.
Yeah, you can come to my house and eat all our leftovers. We have leftovers for days because my wife overcooks most of the time. So you're more than welcome to come by. I
won't tell, but how's your wife for Thanksgiving? Is she a good cook?
Yeah, she's a great cook.
Yeah?
She told me to tell you she's an amazing cook. And she says she's fantastic at making mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes is not something to be like, I make the best mashed potatoes. I mean, that's great, but...
No, okay. All honesty, she's a good cook. And she cooks, like, she brines her turkey, like, for weeks ahead and all this other stuff.
Wow. Okay.
She cooks for days.
She goes all out. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm all day of, so I don't brine, but brilliant. Good for her. That's great. I had a friend of mine who would do Thanksgiving at his parents' house, but he would eat very little. And they're like, son, you're so thin, and we're so worried about it. And he's like, yeah, sorry, mom, I'm not hungry. And then he would dart straight over to my house and fucking kill our turkey and just have a blast. He's like, my mom's turkey is so fucking dry and I can't tell her. He's like, I'm showing up hours later and yours is still moist. How's that a thing? And I was like, it was moist to begin with, and then I keep it tinted the whole time.
Yeah, see, I try to help my wife with cooking, and I'm a horrible cook. And I'll like do something, and she'll be like, "No, that's not no," and she'll kick me out of the kitchen. And that's my excuse to go sit down and watch football for the rest of the day.
But there you go. That works out.
Oh, you don't know what football is, though, so it's all right.
I know what it is. Yeah, I know what football is. My favorite team is my favorite team is Italy.
Don't say soccer, jackass. I fucking knew you were gonna do that.
I love. You know what? Who is it?
God damn it.
It was funny. Trevor Noah was talking with Jerry Seinfeld.
Okay.
And Jerry Seinfeld said, he said your football to Trevor, and Trevor started laughing, and he goes, "Are you laughing because I included you?" And he goes, "No, I'm laughing because you excluded me." He said, "My football?" He said, "You need to understand something. The Super Bowl," and I forget what the numbers were, but he's like, this many million people watched it. But a random fucking game between like Arsenal and Manchester completely destroys those numbers. And it's just funny how Americans are like, no, this is the football. And it's like, yeah, if you looked beyond your little world, you would realize it's really not. Like, I get that a lot of Americans don't love soccer. I'm a big fan. I played it when I was young. I was a goalie and defenseman. But, oh my Lord, it's just the sheer fandom. It's just ridiculous. It would be like Star Wars versus
Star Trek.
No, Star Core, your comic book. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, no offense.
Which is right there.
Like,
it
is.
That's Star Core right there.
I'm sure it's going to be great. But that's the level, okay? Like it's
That's fucked up.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say Star Trek.
No, because they're close. This isn't even fucking close. Billions of people watch this.
God.
Trish said, Trish wants you to become her friend.
Okay.
Because, yeah, well, oh, there's one of your kids in the background. Are you stealing his stuff?
Oh, are you getting ready for bed? Okay. You want to say hi to anybody? There's like 50 million people watching.
No, I don't believe you.
You don't believe that there's 50 million people? Look at all these numbers right there, increasing right there.
No, that's just how long you've been on.
Oh, well, he told me that's how many people are watching.
What? No.
I'm that kind of a person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going to bed?
Yeah.
All right, good night. I'll be
Love you, son.
son.
Trish said, if you had posts that showed your character, I can do buttons of your characters.
I actually do my own buttons. I have a button maker.
Ooh, so does she.
Right here. It's all nice and big. No.
I am so at full mast right now. Sarah says, I wish there were gift cards for the online comic books only sold that way. That would be great. I feel you there.
Oh, wow.
Katrina says, I'll post them soon. I'm trying to get followers on the campaign by saying I'll share art if we hit 25. Kyrun and I watched the same game this past weekend.
We did, Michigan State.
Oh, okay. Are you a college football fan?
I am every football fan. I even watched Canadian Football League, actually.
Oh, you like the CFL. What's your CFL team?
I don't have one. I just watch it because it's football, damn it.
Don't we only have like 3 downs or something?
Yeah. And your field is much bigger than ours. And
isn't it wider?
Yeah. It's ridiculously wider. Like when they're showing it on the TV screen, it doesn't look like the field ever ends. It's just that fucking wide. But if it's football, I watch it. College, NFL.
Wow.
Canadian Arena Football League. I've watched the minor league football. If it's football, I'll watch it. I don't even care who's playing.
Did you ever play?
No. I was going to try out for high school football because this was freshman year of high school, and I was in weightlifting class. And the coach for the football team was also the high school PE coach. And he was like, hey, we need people to try out. And I'm not that fast. So I was like, well, I want to play defense. I want to be a linebacker so I could just stand in the middle and run and hit somebody. And he's like, well, we have a good bunch of linebackers and you're pretty short. Can you be a running back? And I thought about it and I was like, I'm not that fast. And I don't like getting hit. Like, I don't mind hitting, but I don't like getting hit. So, no, I'm not going to be a running back. I don't want to take 20 hits a day for a team that's probably not going to win a lot. So, no, I'm not. So I never tried out.
Sierra Nova asks
God,
CFL, do they tackle or just say sorry each time? They tackle, then say sorry. That's how it goes.
After they help them up, too.
Yeah.
They probably help them and be like, hey.
And then they hug each other, and yeah, the whole deal. It's pretty great. Was there anything else as we're at 2 hours almost? Was there anything?
Break a record? Do you have like a record for your longest show?
I mean, it would be close to 3 hours probably.
I'm
not that. I don't know that I could. I'm still fucking exhausted from the weekend.
All right.
Holy crap. But is there anything else that you did want to talk about as far as creation and whatnot?
Not really. Like I told you when I signed up with you, I'm just here to talk. I have nothing to promote really. I don't have any Kickstarters going. I mean, if you guys want to go to tauruscomics.com and check out the books, there's digital and print comics. But I was just here because Chuck's my boy, and I've never been on the show, and I haven't been able to talk to you in feels like forever.
This has been really nice, actually. This has been nice. For those of you guys who are out there, we're going to hang out for a little bit longer. If you guys do have any questions or anything, please let us know. We'll gladly get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So Saw is done, and am I correct? It's moved on. Aren't you? Isn't it being reprinted in Exciting Comics?
It is next year. We're going to go to Exciting Comics through Antarctic Press. I've signed the contract for that, so we don't have a schedule yet on when that's going to come out, but I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see how this moves on for other people. I mean, when I got the option, I was like, this could possibly be something or it could be nothing, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Someone asked where to find your comics. I'm actually looking for the where it was, but it's tauruscomics.com, correct?
tauruscomics.com. TAURUS comics. COMICS.
Oh, there we go.
Initially, when I started the name, I was actually going to call myself Donut Comics. And then my gimmick was at every con, I was just going to have a bunch of donuts for people to take if they bought a comic. But then someone else here in Sacramento actually already had the name, and I didn't realize that until I started searching GoDaddy for website names. And I was like, somebody has Donut Comics? And then I went to a show one day, and he just happened to be there with his sign saying Donut Comics. I was like, what the hell? All right.
So my table mate Doug Brown, who does Stormy, he had this fun idea. He was going to have a little tub filled with small chocolate bars, and just to do a nice little thing. Well, on day one, people were for the most part very nice. May I have a chocolate bar? Yes, you can. Oh, okay. Can the kids have? Yes. And it was very nice. It was, and then this one dude literally walks by, doesn't pay us even a fucking second of attention, and just grabs a handful of them. And I was like, fuck you. That's fucking disgusting. And I was instantly like heated, so mad. So I grabbed one of my cards, I grabbed my Sharpie, and I wrote something furiously. And I put it down right in front of the plate.
Okay.
And I didn't immediately tell Doug. And so people walk up and they look and they go, "Oh, that's smart," and he's like, "Oh, yeah, thanks," because he doesn't see the card there, so all he sees is that there's chocolate. So someone walks up and they go, "All right, cool. Let me hear your pitch," and he's like, "What?" And they're like, "Give me your pitch," and so he pitches the book, and they're like, "Thank you," and they grabbed a chocolate bar on the left, and he's like, "What the
What
fuck
the
was that?" And I
hell?
was like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you about my note. I picked up the card and it said, if you're going to take one, let me pitch you first."
Wow. Okay.
And people fucking loved that. So they would walk up and they would be like, "Cool, go ahead, let me hear your pitch." And he was like, "Hey, at least I got to pitch to them." And there
Yeah.
was a bunch of times, several times where someone was like, "Yeah, you know what? I like that. That's great. Go ahead, pitch me." They then bought the fucking books and forgot to grab the chocolate bar.
No, that's smart. That's a great icebreaker, honestly, because sometimes it's hard just getting somebody's attention through the rows and rows of comics that they see. So making them laugh and making them see and do something different than what everybody else is doing,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be stealing that. Maybe not
No,
chocolate
please.
bars, but
No, go ahead. But yeah, no, I was, like I said, I was so mad that this guy would do that I was like, nah, at least fucking let the guy pitch you if you're going to take his fucking stuff, especially a handful. It was gross.
yeah.
So yeah, I put that there, and for the people thought it was brilliant. They loved it, and I was like, all right, great, yeah, go ahead, use it. I'm at a table with them all the time, so
That's actually really smart, dude.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, it was like I said, some of my best ideas come when I'm angry. Like, fuck you! This is what I'm gonna do.
And that's why Belial took so long, because he wasn't angry enough.
I wasn't angry enough. So Belial 3, it's coming together, but I need to get pissed off.
Like going through a pandemic wasn't bad enough. Something's really got to get me angry, like Hulk angry.
Right. Yeah. Well, for me, the pandemic, there was certainly some things that got me angry. It was a little more
Sure.
anxious than angry, but I became really fucking busy because so many people suddenly needed an editor and wanted to work. So whereas a lot of people was pencils down, I was like, nah, the pen is fused to my fucking hand. Like,
Nice. Yeah, I didn't get to write a lot during the pandemic. I should have, honestly. I should have wrote more.
yeah. Sarah says she paused in the middle of reading a Jessica Jones trade paperback to hang out. She's going to head out to finish it before bed. Much love and ginormous hugs. I'm thinking about taking a train or a Greyhound to Dallas next year, but we'll see about schedules for cons. I would love that, hon. I would absolutely love that. I will tell you that Eric and I are working very hard for us to both be at C2E2 at some point because he's out of Chicago and I'm enjoying the traveling. So
that's still one of my goals, is to do a lot of the East Coast shows. C2E2, Dallas, New York. I'm so stuck here on the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of great shows here, but I need to get on that side here.
So what's neat is at the beginning of this year, all of my shows were Texas. I had Houston, New Braunfels, Dallas, and San Antonio. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm basically gonna do a Texas thing. Well, then, the collective hit me up in Florida, and they wanted me to come out and, they wanted Wendy and I to come out and do their grand opening. So we came out for that, and that was amazing. And then we somehow got into Emerald City. I'm still fucking baffled by that. And so at that point, now it's like, oh, so come December, I'll be able to say that I've sold Belial coast to coast.
Nice.
Which is pretty exciting.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so amazing when I get to ship books and I'm like, oh, yeah, I've shipped books to this country and that country and that country. Like, I can honestly say I've shipped at least a book to every continent in the world.
Oh, that's cool. That's really neat. I forget there was so there was one book, one Malta, the island of Malta. It has like 500. The whole country has 500,000 people.
Okay.
And Belial 1 and 2, we have a fan in Malta.
Nice.
And both times they bought bought the comic. And I was like, holy fuck. Fucking
Yeah.
Malta? Really right now?
Hey,
So, yeah.
just
neat.
be happy that you have that person.
Oh, so happy. Yeah. No, I'm certainly not. What the fuck? I hate Malta. Like, nothing like that. I was just like, wow, really? Malta? All right.
You're like, Malta, fuck this shit.
They're not even real.
Is that a real continent? Whatever.
Right? So yeah, Sarah's down for maybe meeting up in Chicago. Yeah. I would. Anytime I go anywhere, I would love to meet as many people as possible. And of course, I'm hoping to do some more shows next year on the West Coast with my boy Sean, which means that we would also do some with our dude Kyrun, because that would be absolutely amazing.
Sean and I are supposed to be doing a convention at some point. We've actually already paid for this convention, but it's been postponed so many times because of the pandemic. So we don't know when we're going to do it together.
Is it this year or?
It was supposed to originally, we paid for it for 2022. And then they pushed it back to this year.
You mean 2020?
Sure, whatever. Well, okay. It was originally for 2020. Then they pushed it back to 21. And now I heard they're pushing it back to 22 now.
Fuck.
Yeah. And we've paid for it at the table. And he's like, well, do you want to just get a refund? I was like, it's up to you, man. If you want to do this, I'll do it. Because I love the show itself. Every time I've done this show, I've done well.
Which one is that?
It's called Orocon. It's from a small town called Oroville. It's about 2 hours away from me. But he's close to it. This is like his local con. And this is where he and I met a couple years ago for the first time. So I was like, dude, if I can come out there, we can table together, let's do it. I get to hang out with you. We can talk it up. So we'll see if this ever comes to fruition.
Here's something smart. We are starting to finally go to conventions next year to table them. Good call. Any advice for us? That's a good question.
Work on your pitches.
Yeah.
If you can get a partner. Well, Gray, you already have a partner, but make
sure he shows up.
Yeah. Figure out your layout of your table before you go. Because a lot of times I've readjusted my layout because I've either gotten new books or I just didn't like it while I'm at the con, and it just takes up too much time and it makes everything get so cluttered. Try not to eat or drink too much because you don't want to go to the bathroom too often.
Bring your own food usually. Bring. I usually bring like protein snacks, things like cheese sticks and meat sticks and crackers and that kind of stuff, and maybe something sweet. Just because honestly, the food's so fucking overpriced and processed there that it's better just to have that. Yeah, Katrina says smile. Nobody wants to. That's so true.
And try to think of something that makes your booth stand out. Like Chuck was mentioning about the candies. That's something that not a lot of people do. I don't know if you've seen her setup before, but Madeline.
Holly Rosing?
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen her booth, and she has an amazing setup where she has like all these steampunk things around her table. So it's eye-catching. So as we were walking by, they're like, oh, steampunk. I know what that is. What is your book about? So it's something that attracts people as they walk by. So if you can't get that, get something that people can actually see.
Yeah.
Do you know there was a show on the Sci-Fi Network called Face Off? Did you ever watch that show?
Yep.
One of the contestants on there I actually met at Orocon a few years ago. And he told me, like, if I had ever sent him an image of Lord Eclipse, he wanted to make a bust for me. And I never did it.
Dude.
I know. And he was like, yeah, dude, because he was at the show and he was walking through and he's like, oh, you make comics? I was like, yeah. And he was flipping through issue 1 and he's like, dude, I like this character. Send me an image of it and I'm gonna see if I can make a bust for you in my spare time. I'm like, yeah. And I never did it. So I know.
I love you, but that's a dumb move.
I know. It's an anxiety thing again. I don't know why.
Yeah, right. Well, so yeah, I mean, I've met several people where they're like, contact me, and then I do, and it's like I hear nothing back. So I'm just okay, well, whatever. At least I made the attempt.
Yeah. I didn't even
Um,
make the Tim, so but
take your own drinks and food. Leave your kids if you have any with someone else. Extra pens are big. You know what? People will always tell you the things to do, but one of the things you never should do is don't poach people from other tables. If you see a fan at another table and you think that they would like, no, wait till they walk by you or try to get their attention somehow, but don't take people from other tables. It's not cool. I literally watched a guy walk across an aisle and see someone who was wearing a shirt of something that connected to their brand, and then was like, oh yeah, man, if you like this, you're gonna love my stuff. And it was just like, no, that's not okay.
yeah.
He's right in front of this dude's table trying to buy shit. Like, that's rude. You know what I do? Here's a fun thing that I do. This will happen a lot of times. Cosplayers will walk, but cosplayers I'm not a huge fan of at the convention, because I find that and I mean, I might sound like a dick. I find that they actually add very little to the convention as far as we're concerned. They usually don't have any money to spend because they have no pockets or anything. So they're not going to buy your stuff, and they're going to take attention away from your sales. So I do have, and I try not to be too negative about them, but it can be frustrating. And one of the things that I find happens is they walk by your booth, and then someone goes, ooh, can I take a picture? And now there's this big bottleneck and no one can get by. So what I will almost always do, and I did this several times at every single convention, because it happens several times at every show, they try to take a picture in front of your booth. I'll grab one of my books and photobomb their picture with my book. So suddenly it's like, all these people and Belial, and so I do it all the fucking time.
Yeah, I see. Man, maybe it's the Texas cons, because I come across a lot of cosplayers and they're very gracious to everybody around them, and they have money.
Yeah,
like,
no,
never money, been, dude.
Yeah, never. Yeah, not never, but very rarely have I gotten cosplayers to spend any money at my booth. And yeah, like I said, I do feel like they take away, but I mean, I certainly hope that it's just a Texas thing.
Yeah, we'll see. When you go to Emerald City Con, let me know.
Yeah, it's true, right? Get to know the tables next to you so you can send folks who may be interested to them too. Yep. Have fun with the people next to you. You know what? This is one of my... Yeah, absolutely. This is one of my favorite stories. We were on the corner at in Houston at Comic Palooza, and right next to us was like a fucking CrossFit booth. It's like CrossFit in the park.
Yeah. Why?
The fuck are you doing? Yeah.
Are you just trying to tell congoers that they need to work out? I mean, we know we're fat and overweight. You don't need to tell us that. So
I played off of that. They're over there, and people come by and they go, oh, cool, step on the scale. We'll talk to you about all your stuff, all that kind of shit. And so after a while, and they're always standing up. They have all these extra chairs that they're not using. And I had joked and talked with several of them, and we were getting along very well. And so I said to the one woman in charge, I said, hey, can I borrow one of your chairs? And she said, yeah, okay. And I said, I'm going to have a little bit of fun. I hope you guys are cool. And they're like, yeah, it should be fine. So I got the chair and I put it directly in front of our booth, kind of pointed away from them. And they're like, so I just put it there and I just stayed quiet for a minute. Someone comes up to their booth and they're like, hey, we'll get you on the scale and we can make it a perfect workout for you, blah, blah, blah. And the one was like, oh, no, thank you. No, I really would rather not. And they're like, all right, fine. She walks up, and as she walks past, I said, excuse me, ma'am, did those mean old people try to make you work out? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, that's not okay. Why don't you sit down, take a load off, pick up a book, and maybe enjoy yourself? And she was like, I think I will. What do you suggest? And I was like, Ma'am, grab
Man, Goliath.
whatever you're most excited about, whatever looks best to you, and I can tell you a little bit about it if you want. And but that thing worked perfectly. And the people next door thought it was hilarious because, of course, by the time they get to us, they've already lost that customer.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm being an asshole, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're having fun with them. Obviously, they know this is not where they should be necessarily. So they got it. So, yeah, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah, just have some fun. That's huge.
I would also say don't take a no too personal.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to want to buy your books. So if you say your spiel and they're like, no, I'm all right, don't take it personal. And don't believe the I'm going to come back later.
Oh, yeah.
They never come back.
They almost, almost never come back. When I do get them back, I'm like, you're amazing. I fucking love you. Like, yeah.
That's like Haley's comment. It's every 6 years or something like that.
So the worst is I will usually, as people walk by, do you like comics? That's just kind of the opener.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, how's it going? Hey, we're good. Do you like comics? Yes. And they keep walking. And I was like, oh, that's heartbreaking. And it happens all the time. Because really what they're saying to you is, yeah, I do. And I'm not interested. Like, fuck, dude. Savage shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get that because, a lot of times when you're at a con, you're only there for maybe one or two things. You have a certain amount of money and you know what you want. So I get that if you're that type of person. But if you're at a con, it doesn't hurt to just look.
Right.
It doesn't at least hurt me. If you just look at my book and, just keep moving. I have a long drive.
Who's the long drive? What?
Kat says she has a long drive tomorrow and we're still going. I think she's waiting for us to end.
Oh, I'm going to get through some more of these comments and then we'll probably end soon.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of being fat, Dylan and I went to Albany Comic and Toy Show. It was our first convention to just go as fans. And there were these amazing cupcakes that were superhero themed. There's a lady, Zoe Chocolat. Oh, what?
Keep going.
Oh, however, that cupcake stand had an actual nice placement in the convention, while this Kevin Conrad dude's table was on his tiny little island inside the lobby at a hotel. Oh, wow. That's kind of funny.
Wow. Okay. I've seen a few people with like cupcake superhero themed stuff like that.
There's a woman named there's a woman named Zoe Chocolat who does fudge, superhero fudge. It's fucking amazing. I actually have a video on it. You can check it out on my Chuck's Raw Reviews.
Actually, going back to when I was in Big Tree Comics, one of the guys, his name was Ricky, and his daughter was in Girl Scouts, and we had a convention, and he couldn't find anybody to watch her that day, so she came with us. But this just happened to be at the time where they were selling Girl Scout cookies.
Dude.
So we got to the convention, and we were like, well, they have to sell these cookies. Like, they're supposed to sell them that day. But he has to also sell his comics and whatnot. So we asked the convention for, do you guys have any extra tables? And they're like, yeah. So we got them a table by themselves. He watched over the girls while they sold cookies. They sold so many fucking boxes of cookies at that convention. They almost sold out of the entire stock that they were supposed to have for the month at this one convention. I was like, fuck. Like, we were trying to be jackasses. And we were like, hey, you buy a cookie box, you get a comic for free type of deal. Thinking, we get a couple free comics to give away. After about 10 or so people coming by, we're like, hey, we bought a cookie. We're like, oh, we got to stop doing this. And within the first half hour.
I'm going to run out. Yeah.
Like, no.
We're not doing that. Nope. He says, Chuck employing the power move right there, enticing someone to sit down in a chair and read. Yeah. Dude, that's what it's about, though, is you have to find those little marketing moments, the chocolate bars, whatever you can to get people to stop. Because let's be honest, I love you guys out there. I love all of you. I love what we do. We don't fucking matter. No one came, or even if someone did come for us, it's, one person out of 10,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
So you've got to find a way to get them to pay attention and be interested.
That's what the whole game is: finding something that's different than everybody else.
Brian, I'm too easy to sell books to. As soon as I make eye contact, I feel like I have to make light conversation, and as soon as I make conversation, I feel like I have to come back and buy something. I feel you.
Hey, I mean, if it's like that, you can go to tauruscomics.com and look at the books there.
I'll chat with you while you buy my shit. Katrina will be at Katrina will be at Midland Comic Con in March. Feel free to stop by. Yeah. I'll be at Big Texas Comic Con next month. Feel free to pop in, and I'll be at Emerald City. What about you? You're not doing anything this year, are you?
Actually, I have an event this weekend.
Ooh,
on Saturday.
yeah.
It's called the Pull Up a Chair Expo, and it's actually at a brewery. And
dude,
it's gonna be my second event and probably the last one this year, honestly.
Okay,
but yeah,
some at least.
Yeah, I've done. I decided to only do small events, mostly because I don't know where income's coming in right now, so I can't afford to go out and, like, before I would make a whole bunch of money from Free Comic Book Day and my local shop's event for that. And a lot of that money that I would make from that would go towards events for the rest of the year. No Free Comic Book Day this year, so I have nothing I can go off of.
Yeah. That's rough, dude. That sucks.
Yeah.
Next year
is going to be better. I know it is.
Brian Manel would totally be there. We appreciate you, buddy. We're do.
Glad you're here, Brian.
I know. Yeah. We're glad you're here, at least. Kyrun, it's been so nice having you, dude.
Dude, I am glad to be here. This has been fun. And it was nice just chatting, you know.
Yeah, this was less shop talk and more let's hang out. I'm trying to see who I've got next week. Oh, okay. So I have a young woman by the name of, she goes by Bambi. We call her Sam because that's her name. I met her at my first convention in 2019, and she does a lot of art, all sorts of different neat things, all sorts of different takes. So we're going to really get to hear a bunch of cool stuff. So we have an artist coming out next week, Sammy. That's going to be a lot of fun. And where can they find you, homie?
Well, you can go to tauruscomics.com to get my books. On Twitter, Instagram, it's at Taurus Comics. If you're interested in my podcast, you can go to fourtailspodcast.com. That's the number 4, TALES podcast.com. The podcast is on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Audacity, iHeartRadio, every major podcasting platform, YouTube. So check it out. We do one episode every other week almost.
And you guys actually have, like, there's some pretty cool, you guys really go into the person a fair amount. I really love the research that you guys do.
Yeah. We don't want to be the general come on our show to just plug your book show.
I totally feel you.
Yeah. And we do want to have people talk about their work, but we more want to be about what is it about you particularly that makes it. Are you in an earthquake? What's going on, dude?
No, my dog's actually having a seizure.
Oh crap. Sorry. Do you need to take care of it, or?
I probably do, actually. Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, I know, right? That, folks, is how you get out of a show.
All right, time to go.
But thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you, Kyrun. Thank you for coming out. I had a great time.
Anytime.
Guys, I will see you same time next week. Peace, love, and comics. My name is Chuck.
Book.
Please do. Yeah. I love you, homie. Thank you.
No problem.
My name is Chuck, and I do give a fuck. Take care, guys.